वो वॉशरूम है यार इसका गिर के बैठा है तो है
बॉडी छोड़ दिया
क्या ये देश में रहने का था
ना बोल दिया नेक्स्ट बोल दिया
नेक्स्ट क्या है
नेक्स्ट लेने का देते हैं
टेस्ट नेक्स्ट पीरियड मींस अभी है मैं बोला ना 15
नेक्स्ट पीरियड मतलब
अच्छा 50 मिनट का ब्रेक
मैंने बोला था रिवाइज करना है
तो तुम लोग क्या कर रहे हो
नहीं कर रहे हैं
अरे हम लोग एग्जाम के लिए हो गए हां ये तो इसको क्या है इसका तो मुझे ऐसे ही है ना हमारे ऐसे ना पूरा डायग्राम This is cell cycle. ये cell division है ना cell cycle में 3 phases है G1, S और G2 ना उसका डायग्राम मुझे उतना कैसे लेगा हाँ
क्या हुआ
ये हाँ यार कितना अच्छा मेरे पास नहीं है ऐसे छोटा है मेरा भी G1 में सबसे G1 में सेल के ऑर्गेनल्स डिवाइड होते हैं ना हाँ माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया डिवाइड होता है क्लोरोप्लास्ट डिवाइड होता है सेल के ऑर्गेनल्स सिंथेसिस में क्या होता है डीएनए सिंथेसिस क्रोमोसोम्स डुप्लीकेट बट रिमेन ये ना पूरी का synthesis of DNA and also no DNA synthesis chromosomes are duplicated but they are attached
ये क्या था
ये सबसे छोटा वाला है ना ग्रोथ फेज 2 नाम बना रही इस तरह मतलब यहाँ पे आए थे
ये बंद कर दो ना
अरे मुझे
तो नींद आती है वो
अरे
ये वाला ये भी बंद करो सही है
नहीं चल रहा एक काम करो अरे नहीं चल रहा वो अरे उधर बटन
ये चालू था
वो ऑफ था मैंने बोला ना वो ऑफ था ऑफ कर देना उनके लिए
ऑफ कर देना ना
ठंडी लग रही है मैम को बोल देंगे यार
उन्होंने सब बोले सब
नींद आ रही है ऐसे लग रहा है हां
ये अच्छी है ये बल्बी की हमेशा ग्रुप में से मुझे
G2
ये वहां टेस्ट लेने वाली है बस
ऐसा नहीं हां भी है
अच्छा मतलब सेल डिवीजन
हां अभी नहीं अभी है सेल डिवीजन नेक्स्ट क्लास कौन सा है थोड़ा 50 मिनट्स ब्रेक ना नहीं नेक्स्ट अरे मजा अरे अभी
यही नेक्स्ट लेक्चर है
यही है नेक्स्ट लेक्चर मैम से पूछना होगा
नहीं उधर मत जाओ
हां यार मुझे अंशुल संडे को कौन सा टेस्ट है अरे मराठी है मराठी वाले नहीं है मुझे भी नहीं पता मराठी नहीं मैंने तो चेक किया मुझे मराठी टेस्ट करने पर सगळे एग्जाम घेतले सगळे एग्जाम आज दिले तो ऑनलाइन तो अपडेटेड मुझे कैसे लिखा वो हिस्ट्री और
एक्स्ट्रा क्लास है
नहीं मराठी मैंने नहीं लिया अरे मेरे कौन सा है कंफर्म किया फिजिक्स मैथ्स कौन सा चैप्टर कौन सी टेस्ट है ओके सर ये चैप्टर कौन सा है जाता हुआ ठीक है परफेक्ट वर्क एनर्जी और कुछ बोला क्या नेक्स्ट कल्टीवेशन के साथ क्या लेने वाली है हाइट डिस्टेंस भी है क्या हाइट डिस्टेंस और वर्क एनर्जी slow height distance is zero सही बताया इसका क्या एनर्जी पावर अच्छा तो फिर हाँ मैं देखती हूँ मैंने एक बार रीड करके देखा बहुत मुश्किल लगा मुझे बजट ही नहीं था तूच पाठ करूंगा क्या
Check your book. Solve some exercises first, then we proceed. We are left with few more concepts, few more terms, definitions to study. Pen your pencil. All of you turn to your book, page 51. Okay, for you, it's different. I will ask you what exercises you will solve, what questions. Page 50. Bring your textbooks also in the class. Page 51. Number B, sub number 1 solve karo. Number B, sub number 1. Dekha page 51. B, sub number 1. Number 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. C sub number 1, 2, 3. D sub number 3. D sub number 3. Page 53, question number 2. 53, question number 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. That's it. You have finished all in the school, no? Go through the questions again. Those of you who haven't solved, please complete all these questions. Book is different? Same book? Same book, all of it. So, abhi pick karo questions that I want you to solve. Page 3.14, number 1. Number 1 करो, next क्या है, say 2 further. 2, 3. Go through, I will ask you the answers. Number 4, number 5. Similar set of questions that is there with Selena. Page 3.15, 10, 11, 12, 13, 10, 11, 12, 13, 25, 3.17, 25, 3.17, 25, 23. 23 or 25. Abhi page 3.14. You must have completed the short the 1 mark answers in your school. अगर वो हो चुका है, diagram based questions करो, I will ask you. Now differentiate and give reason questions you will write in the notebook. If you are not sure about anything, you will ask me before you write. Confusion है, only give reason and differentiate you will write in the notebook. बाकी notebook में कुछ भी नहीं लिखना है. बाकी name the following.
The change the following is written in book.
Book. हाँ तो name the following एक word है वो book में
Diagram
लिखना चाहिए. Diagram based questions in the book में ही कर लो. Problem नहीं है. You can do it in the book only. No need of wasting time writing it again. But difference or give reason I want you to write in the notebook. Difference or give reason notebook में लिखना.
I don't have space to write the answer.
Then you write in the note. It's only to save time for you right now. You don't want too much of time to be spent in solving questions. क्योंकि अभी और बाकी है कुछ topics that we have to study. Doubt है, confusion है, before you are writing, you will ask and then you write. In your school, this chapter is over. After this, which chapters they have done?
Genetics. Now for exam, only 2 chapters are coming: structure of chromosome and genetics.
This chapter is not coming.
No. But they have taught.
This topic is taught.
Yeah, they completed the transpiration.
So after this chapter, transpiration also they have done.
Yeah, but then only 2 chapters are coming, and transpiration is not included.
When is your exam?
June end.
June end.
Yeah.
So that is so for you also June end. This two same school, no? This group same school. You same school?
7th. No. We both are in same school. Others are in.
Okay, you both are in Boda. So that means all of your exams are in June end. हाँ? July में अच्छा टाइम लग रहा है.
First unit test is over.
हाँ, first unit test is over. Which were the chapters?
First, second, and third. Genetics, cell division, and absorption.
अच्छा, ये 3 चैप्टर का टेस्ट हो गया. Now when is the next test? July. उसका पोर्शन क्या है? After that, what did they teach? Transpiration हो गया.
No.
और cell division, structure of chromosome, absorption. Only this much is done. After that, they haven't taught you anything. So in that case, since absorption is done, along with absorption, transpiration हम करेंगे तो transpiration will go fast. ठीक है? हम because transpiration is a short chapter और इसके साथ साथ इसका concept fresh रहेगा. Transpiration समझने में time कम लगेगा, मुझे भी effort कम लगेगा. We'll be finishing this chapter fast. These 2 chapters are related. Actually, we always go together. Transpiration, absorption, transpiration, photosynthesis actually should be taught together. ठीक है, photosynthesis we can take a bit later. उसमें problem नहीं है, but absorption, transpiration एक साथ में ही होना चाहिए because it's easier for you because now that you are fresh with these concepts and terms, transpiration समझाने के लिए I'll also not take too much of time because you already know this. So it will go much faster. Other than that, if you keep a gap of 1 month, काफी सारे terms and definitions तुम पढ़ोगे नहीं, तुम भूल जाओगे. Then again I have to rewind and rewind and rewind. So इसमें time बहुत ज़्यादा है. So we'll finish with transpiration in one go, and then start with genetics. ठीक है? Give reason questions when you write. Please make it a point not to make a paragraph there. एक sentence में अगर हो सके आंसर कंप्लीट करना है. If not, maximum 2 sentences. उससे ज़्यादा नहीं लिखना है. But there itself you have to add whatever key terms are there for that concept. Done? There was one more boy with you, no, Kushaka. He's in the naval branch, right?
Carbon.
He's in Kharkov. He stays that side.
Yeah.
The 10th standard, when is the school reopening?
It's 8 June.
8th July. Fill in the blanks. The first set of questions which were name the following, fill in the blanks, true, false. उसमें कोई confusion है? All of you could solve all the questions. Now the differences and the give reasons I will discuss. Fatafat complete करो. We are yet to complete a few more definitions.
And I started with diagram question.
You have started with diagram. Differences in all these things होगा. अच्छा चलो फटाफट करो. Fast.
Not so after we complete these two things, then later we'll do the diagram based question.
Diagram based questions, how many I gave you? 5?
1, 2, 3. 3 of them.
3 I gave you. I think for them 5, no?
6.
For you all 5, no?
For us 4. 6.
अच्छा 4 है. 2 अच्छा. नहीं diagram based complete करो ठीक है वो differences भी you can write the basic key terms भी लिख के.
Differences is done, but then give reasons are true and the diagram.
अच्छा चलो give reason एक sentence लिखना है ज़्यादा elaborate कुछ नहीं लिखना है.
Only the key term.
हाँ only the basic key terms and focus in for एक sentence we try to wind up. Key terms रहेगा, remember in science only key terms is what we are looking for. And the relation, if you that much you are able to write, you will get full marks. You don't have to explain with 3-4 sentences. Which school is absent today? Ryan is absent today. Sadhu, exam there. I say holiday पे गए सब लोग. What happened? So many of them are absent. 4, 5 of them are absent. Oh my God. तुम लोग ना सुबह उठ के ग्लूकोज पी के आया करो नेक्स्ट डे में. हाँ? You heat up your body. गर्मी नहीं लग रही? And see this girl, I'm sweating the looking at her. No? अब उसने इसकी तरफ देख रही हो सोचे how can she? मैं एक एसी ऑन कर लूँ. It's too hot. दोनों? अच्छा the same. यहाँ से चलो. चलो make it fast. How many more? How many more this side? So you are how many more? Kita baki abhi? 4 questions. Diagram based questions 4.
Yes.
And differences in all this you have finished. All done for all of you.
Only you can just left and fire diagram description.
Give reasons remaining. अच्छा 1 minute book ला. By the time you are finished, let us discuss some. We'll go a bit faster. अच्छा, we'll start with give reasons. Give reasons. Diagram based. If there's anything half done, leave that small 4-5 lines gap, and then take the give reasons first. Okay? Selena, those of you using Selena, they go have the same set of questions when I'm discussing with them. सेम क्वेश्चंस अगर है तो साइड बाय साइड तुम भी कर लो. I'll check your book also separately. Okay. Or you all will start. You want me to discuss with the name the following? Are you confident with all the answers? True, false, fill in the blanks.
No.
Discuss करना है?
No.
किसी में भी नहीं है confusion. Good. Give reason चलते हैं. What's your name?
Anshul. Anshul.
Anshul.
Anshul.
P नहीं है. Anshul. What's your name?
Nihali.
Nihali. Nihali, no? And you?
Arya.
Arya. Chalo. I'll start with Anshul. Give reason. The first four you answer. Number one. A closed can containing dry seed bursts open if some water enters accidentally.
I did not select them. I was following diagram based question.
अच्छा नहीं किया किसने किया give reason किसी ने नहीं किया चलो we'll do it together. A closed can containing dry seed bursts open if some water enters. हाँ.
Even dry seed.
The seed absorbs water by the process of imbibition. लिख लो फटाफट लिखो. That is 4 sub number 1. Seed absorbs water by imbibition. Seed absorbs water by imbibition, and I'm sorry, the seed coat. Okay, seed coat absorbs water by imbibition, which results in bursting. Number 2. Jellies, jam, and pickles do not get spoiled easily
Because of high concentration of sugar and salt.
Answer. Reason लिखना है. They contain high concentration of salt or sugar. And microbes, if any, are destroyed due to plasmolysis. I'm sorry, due to excessive exosmosis. Are destroyed due to excessive exosmosis followed by plasmolysis. Destroyed due to excessive exosmosis followed by plasmolysis in the hypertonic medium. 4.3 now. Sub number 3. Roots of some plants are seen growing out through the crevices in the wall. Some roots grow out through the crevices of the wall. You must have also seen, that sometimes we get to see some walls and then there's a crack in the wall, and the big plants, they start growing through the roots start growing through the crevices and the cracks in the wall. What is the reason you feel? Roots are growing through the crevices of the wall. Why? Roots of some plants are seen growing out through crevices in the wall. Why? What would be the reason? Root pressure. The pressure in the root is so big that, remember, we had also talked about root pressure, and both turbo pressure will act also here. And because of turbo pressure and root pressure, both, when we are understanding root pressure, because of root pressure, what is happening? Because of root pressure, we understand that the continuous absorption of the water. And because of turbo pressure, what's happening? Because of turbo pressure,
Cell to cell osmosis.
Cell to cell osmosis, and quite a number of times we understand that the seed coat bursts, germination happens. All this is also because of turbo pressure. Write down. The roots of some plants are seen growing through the crevices in the wall. The growth of the roots, through the crevices is because of the massive root pressure, which allows absorption of water and rapid cell division. Absorption of water and minerals and rapid cell division. Number 4, freshwater fish cannot survive in seawater. You have the similar question there?
No, ma'am, we have done this question. It's just these methods.
Asha. Freshwater fish cannot survive in seawater. Why freshwater fish cannot survive in the seawater?
Because seawater contains large salt solution due to which
Seawater is more hypotonic.
And it will burst.
For a freshwater fish which has been in the water where the outside water was hypotonic. So since the outside water was hypotonic, the water to some extent kept on entering. There was no chance that the cells of the animal was bursting. Okay. But at the same time, these are animal cells that have got the cell membranes and all these pressures. Now, if this same fish, freshwater fish, put into seawater, the outside environment is becoming hypertonic. There are chances that these cells of the fish may start losing water, and the cells may die of massive exosmosis. Now, big fishes, quite a number of time, it will take a long time for them. But yes, immediately if it's a small fish, in very short period of time they will die out. Because the cells are suffering from plasmolysis, the cells are getting dried out. Outside medium is hypertonic, no? Seawater, high concentration of salts. Fresh water, low concentration of salts. Always to remember that. That's right. Freshwater fish cannot survive in seawater.
Ma'am, also ocean fish become marine fish
In the
also can't live
other way.
in the fish.
If you bring the marine fish in the seawater, in the pond, the marine fish in the pond will die of exosmosis. Exosmosis. So it's the other way. Now, freshwater fish cannot survive in seawater, right? The seawater acts as a hypertonic medium for the freshwater fish. Acts as a hypertonic medium for the freshwater fish, which results in rapid exosmosis of the body cells, results in exosmosis of the body cells, which may lead to plasmolysis and death of the cells. Next, number 5. Plants growing in well-fertilized soil wilt if the soil is not watered. Plants growing in well-fertilized soil wilt if soil is not watered. Number 5, that is what to write. Plants growing in well-fertilized soil wilt. Why does plants in well-fertilized soil wilt?
The outside soil is hypertonic.
Same reason. The plant cells are surrounded by a hypertonic medium. The plant cells now start giving away water by exosmosis. And if the soil is not watered, hypertonicity will build up and thus plant cells will die of root cells will start dying out of exosmosis and plasmolysis. But अगर हम immediately पानी दे देंगे, then the medium becomes more or less hypotonic and the endosmosis may start. So you may not write full. If you are sure about it, you may write just the key terms you write down for number 5. Hypotonic soil water, soil, hypertonic soil. What are the other terms should be there? Plant cells, exosmosis, comma, die because of plasmolysis. So ये concept को तुमको एक दो sentence में लिखना है. Potato cubes, when placed in water, become firm and increase in size.
From this one,
You have it. So check the answer that you've written. What is the answer? Potato cubes become firm.
potato cubes are
Potato cubes, when placed in water, potato cubes, cells of the potato cube are hypertonic. So they receive water by endosmosis and cells become turgid and hence the firmness. Cells are becoming turgid, hence the firmness, and which results in increase in size. I'll repeat, write it fast. Potato cubes, I'm sorry, cells of potato cubes are hypertonic. Cells of potato cubes are hypertonic, comma, receive water by endosmosis. Receive water by endosmosis, comma, become turgid, and hence the firmness. Hence the firmness and increase in size. Last, plants begin to die when excess of soluble fertilizers are added to it. The answer to this and 5 is same. Same. Answer to this and 5. Number 5 and number 7, same answer, same explanation. Difference, let us very fast complete that. Difference all of it finished, no? Become. Osmosis, osmotic and turbo pressure. What did you write? One at a time. Chalo, I'll start from up.
The minimum pressure that must be applied to prevent the passage of pure solvent into the solution through the cell permeable turbo pressure. The pressure exerted by the cell contents against the cell
On the cell.
in turgid condition.
In turgid condition. If you write down the definition, that's also okay. Turgid and flaccid, next.
This state of equilibrium when no more water can enter into a cell is called turgidity, and the cell is said to be turgid. Flaccid cell, a condition opposite to turgid in which a cell is not fully packed with water and the cell content is shrunken, is called a flaccidity, and the cell
Flaccid condition, very good. Next, imbibition and osmosis.
Imbibition is the absorption of water by the solid particles of a substance in their dry or semi-dry state without forming a solution. Osmosis, movement of water or solvent molecules from the region of their higher concentration to lower concentration to a semi-permeable.
Okay, good. Diffusion and osmosis.
Diffusion is the movement of molecules from a region of higher concentration to a region of
Molecules of a substance.
in direct contact is
Molecules of a substance from a region of high concentration to
region of low concentration.
when the molecules are in
Direct contact
direct contact. Osmosis.
is the movement of molecules from a region of higher concentration.
Molecules of water.
Water molecules from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration through a semi-permeable.
Last, turbo pressure, wall pressure.
The pressure exerted on the penetration of the cell content of the cell wall is called
Turbo pressure, wall pressure.
the pressure of the cell's wall on the cell content is called
1. So here differences
Most of the differences are just
more or less the same. No, more or less the same.
all are same.
All are same. अच्छा, very good. So give reason तुम्हारा क्या extra है ना? Diagram based question कहाँ पे doubt है बोलो? How many questions left for you all?
I have a doubt in both reason.
How many questions are left? 4 बाकी है. फटाफट करो. Last 10 minutes I'll take a test. And 3 more words you have yet to learn in this chapter, then we are done. I'll give you just 10 minutes. Just key terms likho and doubt hai what is the objective of making you solve so many questions. In the process of coming across so many questions, if there's a doubt, please ask. Clarify.
So the doubt is, give reasons for the following. It is better to transplant seedlings in a flower bed in the evening and not in the morning.
In the evening, since the rate of transpiration is less, the water loss by the leaves would be less. So the water loss and the water absorbed by the roots should be more or less at par, or water absorbed by roots should be higher than rate of transpiration. In the afternoon, if you do this process, what's happening? Rate of we are putting the sapling in the soil. Never mind, the soil is water. So what's happening during the daytime now at this hour? Is it the correct way? Is it the correct time to put the sapling? No, because by the time you put here on the soil, the leaves are showing high rate of transpiration. जो भी water बचा है leaf में, it will immediately start going. But the roots have not yet established themselves in the soil to start the process of osmosis. The roots need to absorb. The roots need to establish themselves in the soil for at least for a couple of hours. And then they can start. And they should get adjusted in that medium. Minimum 10 to 12 hours needed. That they absorb, they spread up there, and then now osmosis starts. So during that time, if transpiration is less, the plant is alive.
Or else the seedling can die.
But if you do it in the afternoon, what happens? They are not getting the 10, 12, 14 hours time. And osmosis hasn't started, but transpiration happened, and then the upper part of the plant has already started drying. Okay, understood? So your answer should be something like that during the daytime, or during what is the exact question?
It's better to in the evening and not in the morning.
In the evening, the rate of transpiration is much lower. Transpiration is much lower, and the roots get enough time to spread up in the soil. Enough time to spread up in the soil and start the process of osmosis before the upper parts of the plant are dried out. Done?
Not this much, right?
We'll see the cytoplasm of vacuole.
C. C is vacuole. C is vacuole. A is root hair. B is cytoplasm. C is baby cell. No. No, cell wall, cell membrane, 2 layers are there. But B is pointing the red region.
One for which question?
Red, which is that one? Third, diagram is third. B is that red region they are marking.
Can you repeat the
Which one?
He asked the labeled parts, right?
I'll say that. So first check the labels. A should be cell wall. B should be cytoplasm or cell membrane.
It is cell membrane.
Is it marking on the second black line? Black line or the red portion?
Black.
Black line it is?
Yes, ma'am.
If it is on the second black line, then it is cell membrane. If it is on the red portion, it should be cytoplasm. Check, check. Black line.
Ma'am gave us cell membrane.
अच्छा. Cell membrane अगर black line में I'm finding it थोड़ा मुझे Logarith which is on the second, but I'm still confused. देखो एक बार check properly. It is in the red portion of the second black line. Second black line है तो cell membrane है. अच्छा. C is vacuole, D is nucleus. C vacuole है, D है nucleus.
Some C can't be the epidermal cell.
No.
Just on the eyes.
C is vacuole. Red portion में अगर mark रहेगा तो इस cytoplasm.
Cytoplasm is just a
small layer.
This labeling of
Guard cells, one कहाँ है? One is guard cell, 2 is inner thick layer, 3 is marking which one? Nucleus. 4 is 3 is nucleus. 4 is outer. No, this is not outer thin layer. 4 is the epidermal cells or subsidiary cells they are marking. Let's check what diagram they have given here.
Yeah.
Outer thin membrane is not. It's not the outer thin membrane. They are not. What happened there? Three, just check. 3 is nucleus. 4 is epidermal cell. Actually, the next cells are subsidiary, then epidermal. Epidermal. Number 4 is epidermal. Okay. Number 1 will be guard cell. 2 will be inner thick layer. 3 हो गया nucleus. 4 will be epidermal cells. 5 will be stoma. Done? So many doubts? No.
So really, if the cell is kept in a hypotonic solution, then water will really go out of the cell, a living blood cell.
Yes,
So
small
it's a
amount.
rare condition.
No, not rare condition. If say suppose we separate the blood cells and keep them in a high concentrated sugar solution, salt solution, yes, the cells will not be they will not be filled with that the cytoplasm, the nucleoplasm will start shrinking and the cell will not be as tight as before. The cell will start getting loose.
And so it will die.
Dying out of the cell is quite after a long time. Immediately not.
That if you don't change the solution.
If you don't change the solution and if you keep on making it more and more concentrated, then yes.
Then again.
Yeah, then yes.
dispersal of seeds by explosive mechanism in the form.
Dispersal of seeds by
Explosive mechanism.
diffusion. We'll keep reading this chapter. As I already told you, like today I'm going to give you a test on the previous 2 chapters. Basic concept test. I'm not giving you
Previous 2 chapters.
cell division, structure of chromosome. I already taught you that over फटाफट कंप्लीट करो। टाइम कंप्लीट नहीं करोगे तो टेस्ट देके चाहे हम लोग 3 बजे घर पहुंचेंगे, मुझे प्रॉब्लम नहीं, मैं यहाँ पे 6 बजे तक, तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, आई कैन वेट। हाँ, सो हम भूख लगेगी, हाँ तो जल्दी करो, फटाफट कंप्लीट करो। हो गया? ऑल डन? So last एक concept सीखना बाकी है and then we are done with this chapter. So होगा निराली नो निहाली to be the idea if you can say that निहाली. Now what are we going to study is we have been already talking about ascent of sac. We have been already talking about ascent of sac. We don't know what is ascent of sac. So what did I say? ये अगर एक plant है, no, in the center, which tissues are there? Which vascular bundle is there in the center? Xylem is there in the center. So I understand that okay, this xylem is connected with the xylem of the leaf district. Surrounding the xylem, which vascular bundle is there? Phloem. The phloem. Surrounding the xylem is the phloem. So we know now this one. Now we try to understand what are some of the forces responsible. Keep naming the forces. What are the forces responsible? एक है root pressure. कौन सा दूसरा pressure कौन सा है? Capillarity. कैपिलैरिटी कौन सा है दूसरा? ट्रांसपिरेशनल पुल और कौन सा है? एडेशन. So this four things we are going to study now. These are all in a sequence, all related. तो पहले तो what are you understanding is ये जो root cells है, already we have studied, no? ये है हमारा root cell in a sequence. What are those cells in a sequence? Root hair cell, epidermis, cortex, endodermis, pericycle, xylem. No, ये sequences. So yes, let us try to understand that the water is entering. ये है soil water. Now the soil water enters. Which pressure is responsible here? What did we learn? Root pressure. Again, I repeat the definition: the pressure which is responsible for the continuous endosmosis and cell-to-cell osmosis. Now, yes, continuous osmosis तो हो रहा है, and after that cell-to-cell osmosis. Which pressure? Root pressure. But इसके साथ-साथ, now what is? इसके साथ-साथ we come across that ये जो cells of the root के साथ-साथ तो the cells of the xylem also will come together. The cells of the xylem also will come together. No, the cells of the xylem will come together. So now we try to understand that yes, the water is moving, and now we talk about the ascent of sap. Root pressure is allowing the inward endosmosis and cell-to-cell osmosis, and followed by upward movement. But ये upward movement में this property of the xylem cells also is very, very helpful. What is that? Capillarity. What is the meaning of capillarity? The narrowness of this tube-like arrangement. Narrow the tube, better it is. And we always find, if I am talking about the xylem of the tulsi plant, it may be this broad. But if I am talking about the xylem of this palm tree, it will be this much. The concept is just the opposite. ये ऐसा नहीं है कि if I am talking about coconut and palm, the xylem is wider. No, xylem और narrow होने लग जाता है. Arrangement of the cells are compact, and the diameter of the vascular bundle is narrow. क्यों? Because if the diameter of the vascular bundle is narrow, the molecules of water, now these are the molecules of water that I am drawing. The molecules of water, they move up very effectively. And why now I'm talking about for tulsi plants and small plants, it is broad. हाँ, ये broad है क्योंकि the intake of the water need not be that much. No, the intake of the water can be much lesser than this. क्योंकि इतना ज़्यादा force की ज़रूरत नहीं है because it's a small short plants. Try to understand. It is just the root pressure and the capillarity which is driving water to such a height, almost about 60-70 feet at a number of times, meters at number of times. So when we are talking about at such a great height, how does the water get carried? Again, if I compare, when we see no tall rise buildings, high rise buildings, how is the water driven to the tanks up there? With the help of motors, with the help of electricity, no? But is there anything here? No. Normally, naturally, the water goes up every day to such a great height. So you can understand how big and continuous these movements are. The movement is continuous. No? The movement is continuous. So narrow the tube, faster is the movement. And for tall trees, the tube and the xylem diameter is quite narrow. Right? The taller the trees, it's narrow and narrow and narrow. Now, capillarity from the word capillary tube. There's a glass apparatus in our laboratories. When we talk about science laboratories, always there's a glass apparatus. I'm not sure if you have seen those in your laboratory, school laboratory. Now, that's just a narrow glass tube. एक पतला सा glass tube होता है. That is what is called capillary tube. अभी capillary tube you may have also seen in the thermometers that we have at home. देखा है thermometers? Thermometer में एक central narrow tube रहता है जहाँ पे mercury filled रहता है. That's also capillary tube. And also we have some this glass apparatus in the laboratory which is known as a pipette. इसको pipette बोलते हैं, not poppet. इसको बोलते हैं pipette. You all are used to that word poppet nowadays, है ना? So now I'm talking about this. This is the capillary tube. This is the capillary tube. So ये जो pipette है, why do we use for various experiments जहाँ पे हमें एक drop करके कोई solution डालना होता है? You will use in the higher standards. जहाँ पे we take the solution, it is just like this. There is this opening. We'll have to no. If this is the pipette, how will I use it? I'll hold it this way and close the mouth like this, and I'll put it in the solution. This is the solution. I'll put it in the solution. The moment I put it in the solution, water will, as it is, or the liquid will, as it is, be driven to certain height. As it is, I have not applied any pressure. तो ज़्यादातर हमको इसको how do we drag the liquids even? We need to suck it from here. Droppers भी रहते हैं. Either we use them or we suck it. We suck the liquids from here and we till the desired mark. I want to draw the liquids to the 10 mark. तो मुझे थोड़ा करके मैं suck करती रहूँगी तो यहाँ तक पहुँच जाएगा liquid. And then I will stop it this way and I take it. And then मुझे कोई solution में डालना है. 1 ml डालना है. So slowly मैं release करूँगी and then it will fall. So ये जो instrument हम use करते हैं, device जो glassware हम use करते हैं, this particular glass apparatus जो हम use करते हैं, so for this apparatus we get to see very nicely that the moment you have not applied any suction force, but still you put it in the liquid. As it is, small amount of liquid rises up. Why? Because of the narrow capillary tube, small amount of liquid as it is forces in. जो भी अंदर air pressure रहता है, that air pressure drags it to some extent. That force is called capillary force. And the narrowness is the property of this tube, जिसको capillarity कहते हैं, capillarity. So because of the narrowness and the vacuum getting filled, the vacuum already present, and that develops a suction force automatically, which can draw the liquid to a certain height. But उससे ज़्यादा हमें करना है, then we'll have to apply some suction force here. Yeah. So same like this, there's a property which already exists in the plant cells. in the xylem tissues, phloem tissues. So right now when we talk about xylem, yes, because of this capillarity, the water can be driven to such a great height. But apart from capillarity, there is also something known as transpirational pull. Now, for transpirational pull, I said these are cells. Now let us believe these are not cells. I'm not explaining you from the perspective of the cell, but I'm explaining you from the perspective of the water molecule. Say suppose I'm talking about the ye abhi cells nahi hai. I'm trying to see how exactly the water molecules are moving in the xylem tube. So if that is what I try to come across, I may see that ye jo xylem tube hai, how does the water move? Ye jo xylem tube hai, the water is moving almost this way. The water has come, the water molecules are moving this way, the water molecule is moving this way. And in this xylem tube, first of all, let us try to understand that there is one property acting here, that this water molecule will move in this direction. This water molecule will move in this direction. This water molecule will move this way. This water molecule will move this way. Now, why did I draw these water molecules in this manner? This is how they move. This is how they move. So if I continue trying to show you that this water molecule has reached the leaves. This has reached the leaves, and now when we are talking about that, this is the water molecule which is moving, and say suppose now that the water is going to the surrounding cells, and as the water molecule go to the surrounding cells, and now they are released by the way of transpiration. So now higher rate of transpiration, process of transpiration at these are happening quite fast. So when the rate of transpiration is much higher, and we are saying that a large amount of water has been released by the way of vapor. So when a large amount of water has been released by the way of vapor, what has happened? A large number of water molecule has come out. A large number of water molecule has been lost by the plant. The large number of water molecule has been lost by the plants. Now what will happen? This entire column of cells, now this is a column of cells. What is this property called? I said, did I draw the water molecule all separate? No. I've always drawn that the water molecules are attached to each other. What is this property called? Cohesion. This property is called cohesion, meaning the water molecules always love to cling with each other. They always love to remain attached with each other, resulting in the formation of a long chain. They are not single molecules. So what has happened? A long chain of water molecule got lost. So empty space got created here. This empty space, which is also compared as vacuum, this empty space now has to be filled up. So what will happen to now these water molecules? This entire chain starts coming forward. The entire chain now starts coming forward. So if I'm saying that the entire chain now starts coming forward, what should I show? I will show you this way, that yes, the entire chain is now coming forward. The entire chain comes forward. So now this part, there's an empty space been built up. This chain will move forward. Okay, this chain has been moved forward. Why this chain moved forward now? Because there was an empty space which this chain started filling up. Not single, together. It's just like a trail. Trail pata hai na? All together. So now this chain of water molecules started filling up this space. So ye jo upar wale molecules, they all started moving. So ye now that they started moving, now there was a space created here. तो अभी ये वाले molecules ऊपर चला जाएगा. So now that these molecules start moving up, now they start moving up. तो करते करते, when these molecules are moving up, we come to see that yes, ultimately when these molecules are moving up, some are touching the wall like this also, some are here. So is it not there will be an empty space created here at the entry of the xylem? Yes. जैसे जैसे this space is constantly getting emptied, this space will be filled up by the trail of molecules all together, something like the string of beads in a string, no? Or a sequence of beads in a string. Some 10 I brought forward, जो space empty create होता है, उसमें मैंने और 10 को खींच के लेके आए, and then वो 10 beads filled up this space, तो और भी तो space खाली हो गया ना पीछे, तो उसको और तुम fulfill करो, then this is what is moving upward. So at any time, because of the high rate of transpiration, there is always an empty space created, and this empty space, which is every time created at the level of the roots, this empty space which is created at the level of the roots, this is responsible for the continuous dragging of the water. This is what is responsible for the continuous dragging of the water from the soil. This is what is called transpirational pull. The pulling of the water due to higher rate of transpiration. जितना ज़्यादा high rate of transpiration, उतना fast dragging of the water. To fulfill this vacuum every time, क्योंकि यहाँ पे जो हर बार space create हो जा रहा है, because of the high rate of transpiration, this empty space has to be filled up. So the higher the rate of transpiration, more is this vacuum created, higher is the transpirational pull, and more is that suction force. So when will this suction force be much higher? On a gloomy day, on a monsoon day, or on a bright sunny day? On a bright sunny day. So on a bright sunny day, this process is going to be very fast. यहाँ पे empty spaces create होता जाएगा, and this column will start moving up. The moment this column starts moving up, यहाँ पे vacuum create होगा, that has to be filled up. And that is the force which drags the column of the water upward, transpirational pull, followed by cohesion. But every time the water will move this way, in a column, in a trail, this property is cohesion. But cohesion to hai hi, on top of that, there are sometimes a big trail of water molecule which remains connected or linked, attached to the cell wall of the xylem cells. What I am showing you this is the xylem tube, no? So काफी बार अब जब ये transpirational pull है, that suction force is there and the water is moving up. Yes, the water is moving up because of cohesion, due to cohesion. In a chain, they are all moving up. But quite a number of times also we get to see that a long chain of water molecule also attached to the cell wall. And this property is called adhesion. This is what is called adhesion. So what is adhesion and what is cohesion? What is the difference? Adhesion is the chain of water molecule which remains attached to the cell wall and then they start moving up. Because cell wall has got a great affinity for water molecule. Cell wall loves the water molecules. So that's the reason the cell wall, the cellulose component of the cell wall, they always attract the water molecule. The water molecule starts clinging. Sometimes like something like, you see, you know, some people, they always have a tendency of climbing up the stairs but hold something on the sides. They hold and they love to climb. And maybe you are just running from the middle of the steps. So it's something like that. When you run from the middle of the steps, it is cohesion. And when you take the sides and the pillar or the rod you hold, and then it is something like adhesion. But ultimately, both are moving up. Both are moving up. Why both are moving up? Because of transpirational pull. Because of transpirational pull. Why transpirational pull? Because of transpiration, high rate of transpiration, continuous loss of water by the stomata in the form of vapor. Okay. So this is what you have to understand. What are the reasons? For this reason also you get this. What are some of the factors which are responsible for ascent of sap? Okay. Now I'll just give you 5 questions. Fatafat likhoge. Just 5 questions. We have got 10 minutes time. That should be enough. Close your books. We don't have too much time, so don't waste your time. Just 5 questions. I want to check how much you are proceeding with the topics. Padhte raho. We don't have much time, so I'm not giving you too many questions. No helping each other. You will write only what you know. Books closed. Books closed. It's okay. No need of writing. Just fine for the time being. You will keep reading. I will always give this type of tests.
And meiosis. Meiosis.
Type of cells where meiosis takes place. Yes.
And
Done. Check करो. This is like, why is it sapling, that question? No? Isn't that question? No?
Yes, ma'am.
हाँ. Check out.
Surface and central zone.
क्या हो गया जो है ना, चेक करो. हाँ. करेक्ट आंसर लिखो. प्रशंसा. अरे, ओह माय गॉड. ये व्हाट्सएप लैंग्वेज यहाँ पे नहीं चलेगा प्रशंसा. Never try that, okay? This I'll tell you, most of the teachers who go for board correction, they are mostly senior teachers. उनको तो ये बिल्कुल और पसंद नहीं आता. Okay, कभी ये हमारा practice हो गया है अभी. So always try to overcome that. No.
This is centrosome and process.
हाँ. Central is not the cell organelle, no? इसका नाम क्या है? तन्मयी. दो. अरे, एब्रिविएशन नहीं लिखना है, फुल नाम लिखना है. एडेनाइन, ग्वानिन, नाम लिखना है, नॉट एब्रिविएशन. अरे देखो, तन्मयी, व्हाट टू डू नाउ? कौन सा करेक्ट है? Duplication of chromosome takes place in prophase. Anaphase में कहा? हाँ, तो abbreviation नहीं लिखना है. You have to write full names. अब I have to find out A से क्या मतलब है? No, that centromere नहीं. And both of you please go through properly, huh? Both of you read seriously. So as I already told you that this chapter, absorption of roots, we are through. Please keep reading these chapters now. Again today I give just 5 questions to test how much you remember. Keep reading so that you remember much better. The next class will start with transpiration, finish with that. It must maybe another 2-3 lectures and then we move on to genetics. Okay?